For 12 years at Fort Bridgeton, Maya Chen endured the whispers, outdated methods, old-school trainer stuck in the past. The younger handlers mocked her traditional techniques while they relied on modern technology. What they didn't know was that this unsung hero carried a secret that could change everything. The faded tattoo on her shoulder told a story of hidden valor. 47 perfect rescue missions, 0 casualties, and a military unit called Shadow Trackers that officially never existed. Want to know what that tattoo meant and why everything changed when the base commander finally saw it? The morning mist still clung to the training grounds at Fort Bridgeton when Sergeant First Class Maya Chen arrived for her shift. At 44, this hidden military hero moved with the steady precision of someone who'd learned that wasted motion could mean the difference between finding someone alive and bringing them home in a body bag. Her dark hair was pulled back in the same practical bun she'd worn for over a decade, and her uniform bore the subtle wear patterns of someone who spent more time in kennels than behind a desk. Maya's right hand carried a white scar from a 2011 explosion in Afghanistan, a reminder of classified military operations that would never appear in her official record. Her left knee showed the remnants of surgery, a souvenir from secret missions where every step mattered. These marks told her story, but nobody asked, and Maya didn't tell. The military working dog compound buzzed with its usual pre-dawn activity. Young handlers jogged past with their German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois, the dog's breath visible in the cool morning air as their paws struck concrete in rhythmic patterns. They carried GPS tracking devices, thermal imaging systems, and digital maps, the latest in modern canine technology that promised to revolutionize search and rescue operations. Every morning, Maya followed the same routine that had served her in the most dangerous classified operations. First, equipment check, simple leashes, water bowls, old-style whistles. While other handlers equipped themselves with tablet computers and electronic devices, Maya's gear would have been familiar to her grandfather's generation. Old school, the young handlers would say. Stuck in the past. Maya walked toward Kennel 7, where Fort Bridgeton's oldest German Shepherd waited. Phantom was 9 years old, with a graying muzzle and hard eyes that had seen too much. The other handlers considered him a retirement-ready old dog. Dr. Harrison, the base veterinarian, had suggested last month that Phantom should no longer remain on active duty. Old, stubborn, difficulty adapting, he had said. But Maya saw Phantom differently. This dog had worked in the field for 7 years, participating in dozens of rescue operations that showcased the kind of unsung heroism the military rarely publicized. Most importantly, he knew the old-style tracking techniques Maya had taught him, methods rooted in hidden valor and battlefield-tested wisdom. In the nearby kennel, 23-year-old Sergeant Rodriguez worked with a young Malinois equipped with the latest GPS tracking system. Rodriguez was tech-savvy, believing in modern methods that promised faster results than traditional approaches. His dog Rex was 3 years old, fast, athletic, and trained to work with electronic systems that represented the future of military working dogs. Rodriguez glanced sideways at Maya, turning to his friend Sergeant Park. Park was also a young handler, 25 years old, Korean-American with an engineering background and expertise in drone technology that was revolutionizing search operations. "Still working with that old dog?" Rodriguez said, loud enough for Maya to hear. "Phantom's useless in the field now. He's an antique compared to modern dogs trained with cutting-edge technology." Park smiled. "Old-school trainers are the same way. With Jeeps and thermal imaging available, she's still messing around with nose-to-ground tracking techniques. Like she's still living in the 1990s, refusing to embrace the digital revolution." These conversations repeated every morning. The young handlers appeared respectful to Maya, but behind her back they discussed how old-fashioned she was, how behind the times. Maya heard these comments but never said anything, a silence that spoke to the hidden strength of those who've served in ways others couldn't understand. Have you ever been underestimated because of your age or methods? The story you're about to hear might change how you view experience versus innovation. At 10:30 a.m., the base routine changed. Major Stevens called an emergency meeting. All handlers, veterinarians, and administrative personnel gathered in the conference room. Stevens's face showed tension, his hands trembling with the weight of command during a crisis that would test every method they had relied on. Last night at 23:30, Specialist Jackson went missing during a routine night training exercise, Stevens announced, controlled panic in his voice. Highland Ridge area. Extremely challenging terrain that's defeated some of our most advanced search operations. Jackson's last radio communication was received at midnight. No signal since then. Highland Ridge was the most difficult terrain north of Fort Bridgeton, known for steep cliffs, dense forest, rocky terrain, and unpredictable weather patterns that turned search missions into life-or-death races against time. 3 separate search and rescue teams have conducted extensive searches using our most advanced technology, Stevens continued. Teams equipped with drone technology, thermal imaging, GPS tracking dogs, helicopter support, and satellite imagery. For 18 hours, we haven't found any trace, despite deploying our most sophisticated search capabilities. Weather forecast shows an incoming storm. Jackson faces hypothermia risk, and our window is closing fast. Rodriguez raised his hand. Sir, my dog Rex is equipped with the latest thermal technology, GPS tracking capability, and digital mapping systems that represent the cutting edge of search operations. We've tried all modern approaches that should have succeeded by now, Stevens replied. Drones have limited range due to weather conditions. Thermal imaging is ineffective due to dense tree cover. GPS signals are experiencing terrain interference that's neutralizing our technological advantages. Maya listened quietly. She knew Highland Ridge from training exercises with Phantom in 2018, during operations that prepared them for terrain that challenged conventional methods. Magnetic interference disrupted GPS systems. Dense mineral deposits made thermal imaging difficult. Unpredictable wind patterns put drone navigation at risk. But Maya also knew that Highland Ridge had its own scent patterns that told stories to those trained to read them. Water sources, animal trails, vegetation changes. These were natural indicators that dogs could follow when technology failed. Phantom had been trained in this type of terrain during classified operations that taught the value of traditional methods. When the meeting ended, Rodriguez and Park began preparing their equipment with confidence born of technological superiority. Latest GPS devices, thermal cameras, digital maps, satellite phones, everything high-tech that promised success where others had failed. Maya approached with the quiet determination of someone who'd operated in situations where failure meant death. Could I join you? Maya asked. Rodriguez looked surprised. You? With Phantom? Maya, no offense, but this job needs young and technology-enabled dogs trained for modern search operations. That dog isn't productive in the field anymore, Rodriguez said, looking at Phantom with dismissive certainty. Age factor combined with outdated training methods. We need speed and efficiency that only modern systems can provide. Maya remained calm, her voice carrying the quiet authority of someone who'd faced impossible situations. Phantom has 7 years of experience in Highland Ridge. He's worked this terrain previously in operations you've never heard of. If you think traditional knowledge deserves respect alongside modern innovation, you know what button to hit. But first, let's see what happens when experience meets desperation. 2 hours later, the helicopter transported them to Jackson's last known position in terrain that would test every method at their disposal. At the landing zone, Rodriguez immediately began technology deployment with confidence. GPS tracking system activated, thermal imaging camera operational, drone preparations started. We're starting a grid pattern search, Rodriguez announced. Rex will do thermal signature tracking using the most advanced methods available. Maya quietly prepared Phantom using methods developed in secret missions. She gave the dog water, a gentle head massage, traditional bonding ritual that created the trust necessary for operations where communication meant survival. Phantom was reading Maya's energy, understanding the mission's importance through connection deeper than technology. The teams took separate directions. Rodriguez and Park began a systematic grid search with advanced technology that should have guaranteed success. Maya and Phantom quietly chose a different route, following natural terrain features that told stories to those trained to listen. In the first hour, Rodriguez's team collected impressive technical data, but no concrete results despite their technological superiority. GPS tracking detected multiple false signals due to mineral interference. Thermal imaging couldn't penetrate dense vegetation. The drone faced weather condition challenges that grounded their aerial advantage. We're experiencing technical difficulties, Rodriguez said over radio, frustration evident. Jeep's accuracy compromised, thermal imaging showing limited effectiveness despite our advanced equipment. Maya didn't respond over radio. She continued working quietly with Phantom, using traditional tracking methods and following environmental clues that had guided successful operations in terrain that challenged conventional approaches. Phantom suddenly showed a behavior change that Maya recognized from previous missions. Nose more focused on ground contact, ears in alert position, tail at a specific angle. Maya immediately recognized it, scent trail indication developed through years of partnership in operations that demanded absolute trust. In the third hour, Maya's radio crackled with the report that would change everything. Base, this is Maya. Potential trail detected. Grid coordinate 245.7 direction. Phantom showing confident scent indication based on tracking methods that have proven successful in similar terrain. Maya, that area's already been scanned, came Rodriguez's frustrated voice. Thermal imaging did twice coverage with our most advanced equipment. Nothing detected by any of our systems. Maya looked at Phantom, whose behavior showed the determination and confidence she'd learned to trust in classified operations. Phantom is reliable, continuing trail based on methods that have succeeded when technology failed. 45 minutes later, Maya's prediction proved correct in a discovery that would change how everyone viewed the relationship between experience and innovation. In a steep section of Highland Ridge, under dense brush coverage, in an almost invisible position that defeated technological detection, Jackson was discovered. The young soldier was semi-conscious, dehydrated and hypothermic, but breathing, alive because traditional methods had succeeded where advanced technology failed. Maya immediately opened her radio. Base, this is Maya. Jackson located. Grid coordinate 245.7. Medical attention required immediately. Alive but injured. Traditional tracking methods successful where technology failed. Drop a comment right now. Have you ever seen experience triumph over technology? Share your story while we continue with Maya's incredible revelation. Rodriguez and Park rushed to Maya's location in shock, their confidence in technological superiority shattered by results that defied their expectations. How is this possible? Rodriguez asked upon arrival. Our technology did a comprehensive scan using the most advanced equipment available. Nothing was detected by systems that should have found him hours ago. Phantom used traditional tracking that technology can't replicate, Maya explained with the patient teaching tone of someone sharing hard-earned wisdom. Wind direction, moisture levels, vegetation disturbance, animal behavior, natural indicators that technology can't detect or interpret. These methods have saved lives in operations you've never heard of. Jackson was transported to the hospital by helicopter with vital signs stable and prognosis positive. Alive because traditional methods had bridged the gap where technology failed. Rodriguez approached Maya with humility that marked a fundamental shift in perspective. Sergeant Chen, I want to express a formal apology for underestimating your methods and Phantom's capabilities. Today taught a valuable lesson about the relationship between innovation and experience that I won't forget. Maya gave a gracious response. Technology provides powerful tools that enhance our capabilities, but understanding the environment is fundamental. Phantom and traditional methods complement technology. They don't replace it. That evening, Colonel David Hawthorne, Fort Bridgeton's commander, came personally to acknowledge Maya's achievement. 52 years old, 28 years of military experience, Afghanistan and Iraq veteran who understood the value of both innovation and tradition. Sergeant Chen, Hawthorne said, approaching Maya with serious respect. Today's performance was outstanding. Life saved, mission accomplished using methods that our advanced technology couldn't match. Hawthorne gave Phantom a respectful look. Then his eyes shifted to Maya's shoulder area. In her traditional uniform, during routine movement, a faded tattoo became partially visible. Marks that told a story of classified operations and hidden valor. The tattoo was almost invisible. Years of fading, careful concealment that spoke to operations requiring absolute secrecy. Most people wouldn't notice it, but Hawthorne recognized specific details with a trained eye that had seen similar marks in classified briefings. Tattoo design, stylized dog silhouette, shadowed moon backdrop, below ST letters barely visible. insignia that officially didn't exist. Hawthorne's facial expression completely changed. Breath recognition immediate and profound. "That marking," he said slowly, voice lowered with reverence. "Where did you get it?" Maya instinctively became defensive, understanding that concealment was no longer possible. "Sir?" "Shadow trackers," Hawthorne said almost in a whisper filled with awe. "That unit officially never existed, but those who know military history understand what those marks represent." Maya realized concealment was no longer possible. Secret exposed, truth revelation inevitable after years of hiding service that couldn't be acknowledged. "Phantom hunters," Hawthorne continued, voice filled with recognition and respect. "Afghanistan operations, 2008 to 2012. Elite tracking unit conducting classified operations. Official records non-existent because your missions were too sensitive to acknowledge officially." "How many operations?" Hawthorne asked with the reverence reserved for legendary service. 47 successful rescue missions, Maya said quietly, her voice carrying the weight of classified operations. 0 casualties lost in operations that officially never happened, but saved countless lives. Because some locations were so classified our presence could never be acknowledged, Maya completed, revealing the truth behind years of silence. Hawthorne turned to address Rodriguez and Park with the authority of command. "Listen carefully," he said with an authoritative voice that commanded absolute attention. "Sergeant Chen is this base's most experienced specialist in military tracking expertise, representing decades of classified knowledge. You will maintain a respectful approach in future collaboration and utilize every learning opportunity she offers. Modern technology couldn't locate Jackson despite our most advanced equipment." Hawthorne interrupted firmly when Rodriguez began to speak. "Traditional techniques delivered life-saving results when innovation failed. The lesson must be learned and integrated into our operations. Share this with someone who's ever been dismissed for being old school. They deserve to see how experience and wisdom can triumph when it matters most." "I'm considering implementing a shadow tracker training program at this base," Hawthorne continued. "Sergeant Chen could assume the lead instructor position, sharing knowledge that has proven superior to our current methods." In the following days, Maya's status completely transformed. The outdated trainer reputation was replaced with elite specialist recognition that acknowledged years of hidden service. The Shadow Tracker's legend became a discussion topic in the base community, inspiring respect for unsung heroes who had served in operations that couldn't be acknowledged. Phantom also underwent transformation that reflected his true capabilities. The retirement-ready old dog labeling disappeared completely. He earned Master Tracking Specialist designation that recognized years of successful operations that had saved lives when technology failed. The Shadow Tracker program was officially launched with Maya assuming the lead instructor position. Phantom became a demonstration partner whose success validated traditional methods. Modern technology was integrated with traditional techniques, creating hybrid approaches that maximized both innovation and experience. Traditional tracking isn't just about finding people. Maya addressed the assembled handlers and officers with authority earned through classified operations. It's about understanding the connection between human, animal, and environment that creates capabilities technology alone cannot achieve. Technology enhances this connection. It doesn't replace the fundamental skills that save lives. 3 months later, Maya stood before a gathering of military personnel from bases across the region. The Shadow Tracker certification program had gained attention from higher command, with requests for training pouring in from multiple installations seeking to integrate traditional methods with modern operations. Rodriguez and Park, now certified in Level 2 shadow tracking techniques, had become advocates for the integrated approach. Last month, our combined team found a missing hiker in conditions where jeeps failed and thermal imaging was useless, Rodriguez testified. Traditional techniques saved a life that technology alone couldn't reach. Phantom, now 10 years old, had become the poster dog for the program, whose story spread through military social media channels. His success inspired respect for older working dogs across the service, encouraging veterinarians to reconsider early retirement recommendations. The Shadow Tracker program represents more than training, Hawthorne told visiting officials. It's about preserving institutional knowledge that was almost lost to technological advancement. Maya Chen didn't just save Jackson's life, she saved decades of accumulated wisdom. That evening, Maya walked the kennels as the compound settled into quiet routine. She stopped at Phantom's kennel, where the old German shepherd lay contentedly, his muzzle gray, but his eyes still alert with intelligence. "We did good, old man," she whispered with satisfaction, earned through service that finally received recognition. "Your legacy lives on in methods that will save lives for generations." The faded tattoo on Maya's shoulder had become a symbol of pride, not just for her, but for everyone who understood that sometimes the old ways, combined with new possibilities, created something stronger than either could achieve independently. In the distance, a young handler practiced traditional scent work with his dog, guided by techniques passed down through generations of shadow trackers and enhanced by modern understanding. The knowledge that had almost been lost forever now had a future that honored both its classified origins and its life-saving potential. 6 months after Jackson's rescue, Maya received an unexpected visitor at Fort Bridgeton. A woman in civilian clothes approached the training grounds, her bearing unmistakably military despite the absence of uniform. She carried herself with the same quiet confidence Maya recognized in fellow veterans who'd served in operations that couldn't be discussed. "Sergeant Chen," the woman asked, extending her hand. "I'm Sarah Martinez, former Marine Corps working dog handler. I heard about your shadow tracker program through military channels that don't officially exist." Maya studied the woman's face, noting the familiar thousand-yard stare and the way her eyes automatically scanned exits, traits shared by those who'd operated in classified environments. "How can I help you, Sarah?" "I served with a K-9 unit in Syria, 2014 to 2016, Sarah said quietly. "Operations that never made it into official reports. My dog Zeus saved 14 Marines during missions that officially never happened. When he died last year, I thought that knowledge died with him. Then I heard about what you're doing here." Maya felt the familiar weight of shared understanding. Another warrior carrying secrets, another keeper of classified knowledge that the world needed but couldn't acknowledge. Traditional methods that complement modern technology. "Exactly," Sarah nodded. "Zeus knew things that GPS couldn't teach and thermal imaging couldn't replicate. Scent patterns that predicted IE placement, behavioral indicators that warned of ambushes. I've been working civilian search and rescue since leaving the Corps, but there's a gap between what I learned in classified operations and what civilian handlers are taught." Maya glanced toward Phantom, who was demonstrating tracking techniques to a group of young handlers. The old German shepherd moved with purpose that defied his age, teaching lessons that bridged military wisdom and civilian applications. "The Shadow Tracker program isn't just about military applications," Maya explained. "These techniques save lives in wilderness rescue, disaster response, law enforcement operations. Knowledge gained in classified military operations has civilian applications that honor the sacrifice without compromising security." Sarah's eyes lit up with understanding. "A way to share what we learned without revealing what we can't discuss." Exactly. Traditional tracking methods don't carry classification levels. The techniques we developed in secret missions can be taught openly, helping civilian handlers achieve capabilities that technology alone can't provide. Over the following weeks, Sarah became a regular presence at Fort Bridgeton, working alongside Maya to develop curriculum that translated classified operational knowledge into civilian training applications. Her experience in Syria complemented Maya's Afghanistan operations, creating a comprehensive program that honored military service while serving civilian needs. "What we're creating here," Maya told a gathering of military and civilian handlers, "is a bridge between worlds. Military knowledge serving civilian needs, traditional wisdom enhanced by modern technology, classified experience transformed into public service." The expanded Shadow Tracker program began accepting civilian participants, park rangers, search and rescue volunteers, law enforcement K-9 units, disaster response teams. Each group brought unique perspectives that enriched the training while maintaining respect for the classified origins of the technique. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, a veterinary behaviorist from the University of Colorado, joined the program as an academic consultant. Her research focused on the scientific basis of traditional tracking methods, providing peer-reviewed validation for techniques developed in classified operations. What Sergeant Chen and her team have preserved, Dr. Walsh explained to a conference of animal behavior specialists, represents generations of accumulated knowledge about human-animal communication that transcends military applications. These methods enhance our understanding of interspecies cooperation in ways that benefit both military and civilian operations. The success stories multiplied. A park ranger in Yellowstone used shadow tracker techniques to locate lost hikers when GPS failed during a blizzard. Urban search and rescue teams applied traditional methods to find earthquake survivors in collapsed buildings where electronic equipment couldn't penetrate. Border Patrol agents reported improved detection rates using techniques that complemented their technological assets. Maya received commendations from organizations she'd never heard of, recognition for service that had finally found a way to be acknowledged without compromising security. The Shadow Tracker's legend grew not through declassified documents or official histories, but through lives saved and knowledge shared. What's the most valuable lesson someone with experience has taught you? Drop a comment and let us know. These intergenerational exchanges of wisdom shape our world in ways we rarely recognize. As autumn approached Fort Bridgeton, Maya stood once again in the training grounds where her journey had begun. The morning mist still clung to the compound, but the atmosphere had transformed completely. Young handlers worked respectfully alongside experienced trainers, technology complemented traditional methods, and the artificial divide between innovation and wisdom had dissolved into collaborative excellence. Phantom, now recognized as the program's founding partner, had become a teacher whose students included both military personnel and civilian handlers. His techniques had been documented, studied, and replicated, ensuring that his knowledge would survive long after his retirement. The real victory, Maya reflected to Sarah, as they watched a mixed group of military and civilian handlers practice integration techniques, isn't the recognition or the program expansion. It's watching knowledge that was almost lost forever take root in a new generation that will carry it forward. Closing. Maya Chen's story reminds us that true heroes often work in silence, their greatest victories measured not in recognition received, but in lives saved and knowledge preserved. Some warriors leave their mark through the quiet transfer of wisdom that transforms how others see the relationship between experience and innovation. The Shadow Trackers may have been erased from official records, but their legacy lives on in every successful rescue that combines traditional wisdom with modern capabilities. Maya's faded tattoo became a symbol not of secrets kept, but of knowledge shared. Proof that the most powerful service sometimes comes not from what we hide, but from what we're finally able to reveal. Have you ever encountered someone whose quiet expertise changed your perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments below. These stories of hidden heroes deserve to be told, and the wisdom they carry deserves to be preserved. If this story of hidden valor and quiet heroism moved you, there are thousands of unsung heroes whose stories deserve to be told. Hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you never miss the tea.